Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the April 16th, 18th Town Board meeting. There you go. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. I'd like to have a moment of silence for Lieutenant Jeff Fawcett, who was a member of our police department, retired a few years back, passed away this week. Thank you. Roll call.
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Bill Carlo, Second Ward.
Jessica Lopez, Third Ward.
Matthew Williver, Fifth Ward.
Ann Schurshin, Sixth Ward.
Alicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, Attorney for the town.
John Baisley, Supervisor for the town. We have a rather small agenda for tonight. First item on the agenda is authorize waiver of Arlington Business Improvement District fees. 2, authorize waive Church of Holy Trinity's fees. 3, promote Heather Duffy in the assessing department. 4, set a date for a public hearing for the MS4 annual report. 5, adopt New York State Climate Smart Communities Pledge. 6, Vassar College Founders Day fireworks. 7, appoint Judith Clementi to the Town Ethics Board. 8, authorize the supervisor to sign Dutchess County SPCA agreement. 9, accept the minutes from the town clerk. 10, notification of claim, Gokay versus the town. 11 is a special consent for a board ethics appointment of Stephen Miller. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item on the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody like to discuss any item on the agenda? If not, can we have a motion to resume the rules?
So moved.
Second. We have, before we start with our agenda, we have a proclamation to thank an iPark official. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, on behalf of the Town of Poughkeepsie and all residents of the Town of Poughkeepsie, does hereby recognize iPark East Fishkill for their involvement in the community by their donation of office furniture. And whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie recognizes the time and effort that the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Board member Jeff Renahan contributed in organizing this. Whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie also recognizes Rose Hughes, iPark East Fishkill, for her diligence in working with the Town of Poughkeepsie on this donation. Now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby enthusiastically proclaim and extends its appreciation for the involvement in the community. And be it further resolved, then original signed proclamation be forwarded under the Great Seal of the Town of Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, State of New York, to iPark East Fishkill. So moved.
Second.
Just want to say, Jeff, thanks for orchestrating this when you found out they had stuff available. We got quite a bit of furniture and it went quite a way in Town Hall, and I'm happy that it actually made one of the rooms come out really nice. And the second thing, we have just an announcement that this week at the New York Planning Federation, John Wiseman, our Planning Board Chair, is receiving the 2018 John O. Cross Award for being Planning Board Chairman of the Year. And there was quite a list of sponsors throughout the community that sent letters in for John. And one of the things they gave him credit for doing was the adoption of the 2007 town plan, which we are now redoing, 2007 zoning law, and some of the projects he worked on were new science building at Vassar College, new facilities building, approval and construction of new resident facilities, Tal Lab site, Fox Run, the nature science building, the dorms, and Marist College, and then all the work he has started on the Psych Center property as of now, amongst many other projects. I want to congratulate John, say thanks for all the hard work, diligence you put in, and all the lost time that your wife lost out when you weren't home. And good luck accepting your award next week, and congratulations again, John, for all you've done. Do you have anything you want to say?
Well, never had a loss for words. Just a couple quick things. Actually, I was kind of speechless when I got a call last Friday from the New York Planning Federation telling me about the award, so I was very taken with that. I think I've been on the planning board about 23 years, And I will tell you that the town of Poughkeepsie has come a long way. We've had some very, very good planning boards. We've had some great town boards. We've worked across, you've all worked across party lines. And I think that we did a good job with the downturn and IBM, doing all the things they did. And I think the town's in great shape, and we're moving forward, and I'm proud to be part of that. And I thank you for the support, and I thank you for announcing that award. Appreciate it.
Welcome, John. Thanks, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Jeff, number 1.
Okay. Whereas the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from Robert Legacy of the Arlington District Improvement District for its Taste of Arlington event to be held on Thursday, June 7th, 2018, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Vassar Alumni House lawn. And whereas Vassar College, the owner of the property, has given their permission for the event to be held on their property, now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive all permit fees relating to the Taste of Arlington event pursuant to a request received by Robert Legacy, a copy of which is attached. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for said event to be held on Thursday, June 7th, 2018, between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. at the Vassar Alumni House lawn, College Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York, contingent upon receipt by the town of a certificate of liability insurance naming the town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 2, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive all permit fees relating to Holy Trinity Church Spring Festival at 775 Main Street, Poughkeepsie, New York, on May 31st through June 3rd, 2018, pursuant to the request from the Church of the Holy Trinity dated March 22nd, 2018, a copy of which is attached. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application of Holy Trinity Church to hold a spring festival at 775 Main Street on May 31st through June 3rd, 2018, contingent upon the receipt by the town of a certificate of liability insurance naming the town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. And be it further resolved that the town of Poughkeepsie, that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in the event alcoholic beverages are to be served, with all other state laws remaining in full force and effect. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby promote Heather Duddy to the full-time position of real property data lister for the town of Poughkeepsie Assessing Department at the CSEA grade 4, step 2 salary of $19.1060 dollars per hour, effective April 23rd, 2018, which promotion is subject to a probationary period of not less than nor more than 26 weeks per civil law service, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this promotion. So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any questions on this? The only comment I have to say is I want to thank the Personnel Committee for following through and working this through the process. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby set May 2nd, 2018 at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may come to be heard in Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as a date, time, and place for public hearing to accept public comment on a draft stormwater annual report. And be it further resolved, the searchable draft stormwater annual report prepared by the town engineer shall be filed in the town clerk's office and posted on the town's website for review by any interested party on April 27, 2018. And be it further resolved that the town board will accept public comment on the draft stormwater annual report commencing on May 2nd, 2018 and ending on May 11, 2018 at 4 p.m. And be it further resolved that the contact person for this report is Eric Holman, Department of Planning, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, whose email is eholman, EHOLLMAN, at townofpoughkeepsie.newyork.gov. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is authorized and directed to immediately publish a notice of the public hearing and the comment period. And be it further resolved, Town Board does direct that the Director of Municipal Development to review any comments on the draft stormwater annual report and file the report final report by May 25th, 2018. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 5. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie believes that climate change poses a real and increasing threat to our local and global environments and is primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels. And whereas the effects of climate change will endanger our infrastructure, economy, and livelihoods, harm our farms, orchards, and ecological communities, including native fish and wildlife populations, spread invasive species and exotic diseases, reduce drinking water supplies and recreational opportunities, and pose health threats to our citizens. And whereas we believe that our response to climate change provides us with an unprecedented opportunity to save money and to build livable, energy-independent, and secure communities, vibrant innovation economies, healthy and safe schools, and resilient infrastructures. And whereas we believe the scale of greenhouse gas GHG emission reductions required for climate stabilization will require sustained and substantial efforts. And whereas we believe that even if emissions were dramatically reduced today, communities would still be required to adapt to the effects of climate change for decades to come. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to a changing climate, adopts the New York State Climate Smart Communities Pledge, which comprises the following 10 elements. 1. Pledge to be a climate smart community. 2. Set goals, inventory emissions, plans for climate action. 3. Decrease community energy use. 4. Increase community use of renewable energy. 5. Realize benefits of recycling and other climate smart solid waste management practices. 6. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions through use of climate smart land use tools. 7. Enhance community resilience and prepare for the effects of climate change. 8. Support development of a green innovation economy. 9. Inform and inspire the public. 10. Commit to an evolving process of climate action. So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, Ann and I have had several conversations with respect to this, and it's over my concern about making this pledge. Like when we start our meeting and I pledge to the United States, the flag of the United States, I think pledges are taken seriously. And I was concerned that the wording of this would somehow bind the town, this town board or a future town board, to certain courses of action with possible penalties in civil court if we don't follow it. And Ann and I spoke today a couple of times. She spoke with someone she knows at DEC who is the author of this.
Well, I called him. He didn't call me back.
Oh.
But I spoke to someone else. And they told me that a pledge is more aspirational, that nothing in here says we're changing town code, nothing in here says we're dictating to the planning board or the zoning board. What this is a New York State program. Because Governor Cuomo, President Obama had a reduction of emissions plan. And our Governor Cuomo decided to beat him by a decade. So he's wants to reduce our greenhouse emissions by 40% by a certain amount of time. And this is his plan, to inspire communities to adopt practices to lower greenhouse gas emissions. And the upside of this is there's a whole list of possibilities you can do. You can pick and choose what works for your community. You don't have to do them all, and you earn points. And once you get a certain number of points, you're eligible for grants. So basically, this is what it's for, is to earn grants and be able to do some of these greenhouse emission saving, but they also save us money, and they're going to save us money in the budget, and that's the whole point.
It's giving you a reason to commit.
Exactly, it gives you a reason to commit. So this is for rewards. There are no penalties built in here, and there's nothing in here that changes our town code and says we're required to do things.
Okay, so then it would be like a consensus of this board that there is no future mandate.
No, if we choose to do nothing from this point on, we'll earn like 4 points for accepting the pledge, and that's it.
So everybody
That's my opinion.
happy with the fact that this is not binding on us in any way, shape, or
Mr. Nelson, is this legally binding on us in any way, shape, or form?
Okay. When I see the word pledge, and I did talk to a couple of people about this, it sounded to me like an agreement to do something. And then each of the 10 things has a verb. Mm-hmm. Decrease, increase, reduce, enhance, support, inform. As a practical matter, however, the things that you are talking about decreasing, increasing, informing yourselves about and the public about are not well defined.
Right.
And You are correct, Ms. Schurshin. I'll get to the answer in a minute, I promise. If you want to amend the town code, you go through the local law process, and that's how you do it. And this is not a local law. Probably the most conservative way to approach something like this is if you want to take this on as an absolute commitment to do all these things, which could be pretty expensive and require an awful lot of work, you might want to amend the resolution to say that. If you wanted to say you're not committing absolutely to do any of these things, you might amend the resolution to say that. On the other hand, I think if you have been told by DEC that this is, what they say, precatory or
Aspirational.
And the members of the board are nodding their head and saying, yeah, we agree that this doesn't commit us to any particular course of action. That's a long way of saying, I think if, people are responding affirmatively to what Mr. Carlos is saying, as far as your intent in going into this, you don't need to modify the resolution. You could just
But
adopt it.
based on that, and I see everybody agreeing, all of us, that this is not binding on us for our term or for a future term, then I had a resolution, an amendment to make, and I'm not going to make that because I think this solves the problem and has on our record clearly saying that none of us here think that this is binding in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's not, I don't think it's binding. I just think it gives us an idea that going forward, these are things we should try to do.
And we're doing some of them now.
Yeah, or try to point people in the right direction to do, because some of them I don't think
And I mean-
are legal.
And it also gives us support. It
Right.
gives us,
Grants a thing.
And it doesn't prevent us from working through the program, it's just that we're not bound to any one particular.
Okay? As long as we're not bound, I can support this and second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from Vassar College to include a fireworks display at its Vassar College Founder's Day event to be held on Saturday, May 5th, and with a rain date of Sunday, May 6, 2018. And whereas the applicant has notified the Arlington Fire Department, and whereas a certificate of liability insurance has been filed with the town clerk, naming the town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured, now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for a fireworks display to be held on Saturday, May 5th, 2018 at 9 p.m. with a rain date Sunday, May 6th, 2018 on Vassar College property, Raymond Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that one?
I do actually have a little issue with this. The license to deal in or manufacture explosives that is in the paperwork here filed by Legion Fireworks is set to expire before this event takes place. Now, I'm sure they have not let their license lapse, but I think we need to get the most up-to-date copy from them.
Where is the expiration date?
the last page expires 4/30/2018.
Okay.
It's just before the map.
Yep, I see it, yep. Because there's a different date on the front of it.
Got one on
But
the back.
yeah, they're actually very good, so they should be.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't
Yeah, it's probably just was an
actually a problem.
oversight.
Yes, and I called them too because I didn't receive their email from the fire company, but she said that she did receive it and it was coming, but I still haven't received it, but I'm sure it's coming.
Okay.
Well, there is
As long as you get the updated copy
Yep.
prior. All
Yeah,
right.
they're usually really good.
There's one on the back that says March 1st, 2019.
Yeah, that's what I saw, but I don't know if it's the same.
That's a federal, I think.
Yeah.
Follow through, check on
Yeah,
it.
that's the state of New York.
Okay.
I don't see these on an everyday basis, so
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not used to looking at explosive paperwork.
Fair.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the town board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby appoint Judith Clementi to the current vacant position on the Town of Poughkeepsie Ethics Board for a 3-year term which term is from March 1st, 2018 to February 28th, 2021. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions with that one?
I'd like to thank Judy for stepping up. She's been involved in our community for quite some time. She's qualified. She's a great asset to the Fourth Ward, and I'm looking forward to putting her on the board. I'd like to thank Sally Decker as well. She spent a lot of time on there. Just her health issues. She wanted to stay, but she was having some health issues, so she had to resign. But thank you.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to sign a dog control housing agreement with the Dutchess County SPCA for the period ending December 31st, 2018, and substantially the form annexed, and be it further resolved, the town board further finds that it would not be in the best interest of the town to solicit alternative proposals or quotations for such service. And be it further resolved that the town board finds this is type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any questions on this one? The only thing I say is, the only reason we're leaving the other animal hospitals is due to the fact that they're no longer doing the housing. So we had to go look elsewhere on a very short time frame. And I want to thank the chief, Jim, and Charlie for getting together with something because our time frame was running real short. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 9, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept the minutes for the following 2018 town board meetings, to wit, January 3rd, 2018 regular town board meeting, January 17th, 2018 regular town board meeting, February 14th, 2018 regular town board meeting, February 21st, 2018 town board / committee of the whole meeting, March 14th, 2018, Town Board / Committee of the Whole meeting. March 21st, regular Town Board meeting. April 4th, 2018, regular Town Board meeting. April 11th, 2018, Special Town Board / Committee of the Whole meeting. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I didn't email them to you like usual because it's quite large files for all of these. They are up on the website, but there's 2 corrections. March 21st is missing, resolution number 11. And on April 11th, I accidentally married Jessica to Jeff, and I wrote Jessica Renahan, so I had to...
Congratulations.
Condolences.
So I had to correct that, but it's not corrected yet. I sent it to Mark, but he was out sick today,
Okay.
so that should be corrected tomorrow.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Item number 10 is a notification that the following claim has been referred to legal. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gokak versus town.
Number 11, be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby grant special consent to the following items, to wit, appoint Stephen Koa Miller, Board of Ethics, and be it further resolved that upon the objection of any member of the town board, an item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and second. Any questions on that one? Any comments on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. That brings us to the end of our agenda. We have to make a motion to suspend the rules for any items related to the town at all.
Don't we need to read the resolution?
Do them.
SC1.
One,
Oh.
Yeah,
that one.
we'll have to do SC1.
another one.
I think it's me.
Don't look
SC1.
that.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Stephen Kakoa Miller to the Board of Ethics to fill the unexpired term of Anthony Balbo, which term expires on February 28th, 2021. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Matt, do you want to make any comments on that one?
Sure. Stephen is a member of the faculty at Oakwood Friends, where my wife works. I know him personally. He's wonderful. He teaches ethics and philosophy there. He's also an adjunct professor at Marist College. He's part of the United Nations. I have it here. Hold on. He does a lot with ethics and philosophy in the area, so he's well qualified to do the job and interested in doing it as well. So I thank him for his service.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Now we come to the end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item to discuss town business as all.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We ask whoever speaks to please try to keep it at 3 minutes. Is there anybody that would like to speak? Sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joey Seymour. I'm from the World Mission Society Church of God in New Windsor. I had actually spoken with Supervisor John Baisley earlier today. I know I said I was going to come later in the week to drop off the information, but I figured this would be a good time to extend an invitation to the rest of the council members. This Sunday, we're having the 2018 Makeup Blood Drive. And this is a very big blood drive that we're holding not only in New York, but in several locations throughout the East Coast. And so the reason why we're here tonight is because we want to extend an invitation to not only the New Windsor area, but all of the areas surrounding to get the leadership from the towns that our members belong to also present at the blood drive, as they see their town leaders that they support at the blood drive would be very, very encouraging for them. So that's why we came here to extend an invitation. We actually held our first blood drive in 2014, in which we were able to collect just over 1,000 donations. So it was very helpful, especially when we're experiencing a lot of these blood shortages in New York and actually throughout the nation. It's been very successful. We held our second blood drive at the Kimmel Center in NYU in 2015, and we were actually able to break 2 records, collecting the most donations in 1 hour and also the most red blood cells in a single drive. So we're really trying to spread out and get as much support as possible. And so we have been very active in community service. In 2015, we received the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service for our community service throughout the world internationally. And we also received the President's Call to Service in 2011, 2014, and 2015. So we're definitely looking to try to help out as much as we can, not only in New Windsor, but also in the town of Poughkeepsie as well. And so we really would like to build on the relationship that we already started with Supervisor and go from there. So again, we would love to have anybody who is able to come this Sunday. Even if you can't donate, just your presence would be very meaningful to us. So again, thank you very much.
What's the location and the time?
It's in New Windsor at 880 Jackson Avenue. And it's from 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, and thanks for coming over in such a short notice.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Is there anybody else that would like this? Mr. Armstrong?
Number 6, the Vassar College fireworks, and he had mentioned that the town is covered by the insurance policy that they have. I don't know if the Arlington Fire District or the volunteers are going to have a piece of equipment there, but are they automatically covered under that same town policy, or do they have to have it separately to protect themselves for something that may happen?
They're not covered under our policy, we're covered under their policy.
Under the fire department, fire districts?
No.
For Vassar.
I know, but
Vassar has to
do
list
you
as
know
an
if the
additional
fire
insurance.
department would be in conjunction with the town to be covered by the college?
I doubt
No.
it.
Or they would have to do it separately?
I know in the past, the
If
other
they're not going to a
application,
fire, they're just there to,
I don't know if they
I
actually.
know in the past, the other applications that came before us, it was stated in there, and it's not in here, that the fire department wasn't even required to be there. I know that when it
no, I know
merits,
they're not required, but if they,
that they're saying they didn't need to have standby there. They weren't requesting standby, so I don't know why they'd be down there if they're not requesting it.
well, I understand that, and they always requested it, whether we could accommodate them or not, remained to be seen each year whenever this happened. But I'm not sure if they do respond to go there to give the protection, should they have a separate policy to cover them like the town does, to cover the town for any incidences that may happen?
That should fall under the regular insurance that they have, that the fire district has.
And if they want additional, it'd be up to their attorney to.
I don't
request some.
remember when I was there whether that was an issue or not, or whether it ever came up or not, but I guess I'll have to call and find out. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Ma'am?
My name is Regina Klein. I live on Pasture Lane in the town of Poughkeepsie. I'd like to congratulate you on voting to accept the pledge to become a climate-smart community. This is a very, very important action, and I hope you will use your connections and your thoughts regarding how to improve the situation regarding our environment. And along those lines, on our webpage for the town, we have a line that says Conservation Advisory Commission. And when you open that link, you find a paragraph that says, the Conservation Advisory Commission, composed of 7 appointed members, was established as a volunteer organization to offer advisory opinions regarding environmental issues in the town. It would be wonderful to have this organization active to help us become a climate-smart community. However, it goes on to say, at this time, there are no board members, so there are no meetings. I would like to request that this paragraph be modified to encourage anybody that looks at this page that resides in our town to become a member of this commission. And let's get this commission reactivated so that they can help this town become a climate-smart community. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Can you say anything you want?
Yeah, this is the time to say anything you want. About that?
Hey, Jay, Pete Dennison.
How are you?
I was talking to Jessica yesterday. I'm in Ward 3. Is there anything we can do to kind of, we're trying to do everything we can to try to make the town look as nice as possible, and, we're living in it. I don't know if you've seen any of these shows on TV, but you look at some of these towns in Europe, and they're just sparkling, just clean, really, really clean. Do we have any paid service within the town that actually picks up litter on the side of the road? I mean, after the winter, obviously, it's pretty crazy.
No, but many of the local groups have adopted some of the roads. My local fire department adopted a road, and actually they cleaned half of it up the other day. But
is that the only thing we have to rely on is just volunteer work?
Most of the time it's volunteer work, but during Earth Day and so forth, the highway department has sent their guys out to do a spring clean, not on a non-stop basis. But the worst part is it's an embarrassment that people do make such a mess. They cleaned the other day, they cleaned 1.5 miles of roads, and 3 hours later you drove down and there was junk all on the road already.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I don't remember all the stuff on the side of the road around here. I mean, really, it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it is now.
No, and I think...
I know we're growing, and I know we have a lot more people coming in, but...
As you said, pride is part of the case. I mean, people should be embarrassed, to throw stuff out their windows and things. I know I never raised my children that way. And I said the fire department went the other day, and Jeff was even there. The amount of stuff and what they picked up, it was amazing that people throw things out the window like that. And I said they were done at noon, and I went up the road at 5 o'clock, and there was already stuff on the road again.
So what can we do to kind of clean the town up, make it look good?
Most of them, and I know Jessica did her part the other day, is everybody getting a group and effort and picking a zone and trying to do your best effort to do it. Last year and the year before, I think, Mark, didn't you have a group out one year, walk part of the streets? Yeah, the highway department has done it a few years to go out. We can't do it on a nonstop basis, but we've tried our part in the spring to go out and clean up what we can.
Should we try to do it through the wards, or should I just try to get people to adopt various areas?
Typically, I've done it in the 4th Ward with different groups. Then live in the Crestwood section, live down in Bedell Road, live down in Fairview. So we've done it together. We've got a group of people together. We've put an ad in the paper for volunteers. People come out from all over. So we've had people from every ward come out and help out.
So if you would like to work with me and put something together, I'm more than willing to advertise and put it there. If somebody would help coordinate, if you know a couple volunteers who want to do and coordinate something with Earth Week, I have no problem putting a group together and working with a group, because I said there are a lot of small groups that do pieces. I know down in the Hamburg area, they actually pick Earth Week because they go out and they do it and they coordinate with the highway department. They'll put it out and he picks it up. So if we want to pick some areas or want to help put something together, I'll work with you. And if you get a couple of the volunteers, we can put something together.
I second that. I also have a slew of high school students that are also always begging me for community service hours, so I'd be happy to help you put something together.
I would love to do that. And the other thing that we obviously have to do is we have to try to figure out what to wear while we're doing it, because the ticks are out in force. Mm-hmm. And my wife gets Lyme every year. They seem to find her. So, before I go on the side of the road, I'm going to have to wear a Tyvek suit or something like that. I don't know what. But it's just crazy how bad the ticks are anymore. And they've got every disease in the world.
Oh, no, it's horrible around here.
So the other thing that I have in mind, and I know this is something I've talked to you about in the past, but some of these buildings are abandoned, namely the green one right on the corner in our ward.
The garage.
And it's just terrible. I mean, I know we're probably stuck in litigation with this, but that stuff's got to go. I mean, we can't keep that going.
No, you're correct. I actually had a discussion today, again, to try to drag him back in and force him to do it, because as I said, I discussed it the other day, that just the cost for the town to do it with prevailing rate is so outrageous, and the fact that I don't think he can get financing because of the fact he's in litigation to take it down on his own right now.
Really?
Yeah, that's part of the issue. He's, litigating. If he loses, he doesn't get his site plan, so he's not gonna build anything, so it's gonna make it harder. And we've had a lot of contaminated sites. I don't know how contaminated that is. If the county takes it over, the county's not going to do any work because they don't want to be responsible for the ground either, so it'll just sit there. So the best bet, we think, is just drag him back in the court and see if we can push his arms a little bit harder to get done, because as far as his legal battle with the planning department goes, they're back in court next week, but having discussion with somebody the last couple of days, it's probably another year before they resolve this case to see if he's going to win or lose. So I think we'll have to go back down the stairs of the building department, have him drag him back in the court and see if we can push him, at least take that one building down. The other ones are bad enough, but if we could at least get the garage out of the way, the other ones might not look half as bad.
Yeah, we've come a long way. I mean, in terms of trying to make the town look as good as possible, and that stuff, unfortunately, when it gets stuck in litigation.
Yeah, and it's been in litigation, I think, 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there for quite a while. So after the discussion the other day, we said we will try, and Jessica's been in multiple times, because nobody wants to look at it. It is said it's on the corner right as you come into the town. It's not something nice to look at all.
Yeah, I think we have to remember we're always trying to be a good example. The town is trying to be a good example, and the best way to do that is just to try to be as clean and as, I know Mark's doing everything he can to try to do everything he can with the highway department. He's done a great job.
They do a very good job.
But, that's another element that's it's just crazy, the amount of litter that's on the side of the road now.
No, you're right, and I said Saturday, my own business, that's all I got all day long, were nothing but thank yous and compliments to the group that was out there. And they had a big team out there, but they didn't get as far as they thought they'd get. They only made just about a mile of road, and he probably had close to a dozen people out there. It was just such a mess over the winter. And they do it, I think, twice a year. So it's not like years and years of garbage. It's literally from the fall to spring that there's that much stuff on the side of the roads.
Yeah, twice a year doesn't even do it.
No.
It's not enough.
No.
So, I don't know.
And the other problem is some of the business owners have to realize that it's their property, because a lot of where they went happened to be a county park. The county should take pride, and they should be out walking their own property line too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else? If not, can I make a motion to resume the rules?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Renahan.
Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adjourn to executive session to consider the following matters, to wit: confidential communications between the attorney and his client, the town board, based on attorney-client privilege, and matters leading to the appointment, employment, dismissal, or removal of a person, firm, or corporation. So move.
Second.
The motion is second. We advise the town board goes into executive session at 7:39 PM. Thank you.